When celebrity chef Maneet Chauhan began her culinary career, she thought she'd work as a pastry chef until she realized
what a gross misconception the world had of Indian food. And I think that's where my entire journey shifted.
now, 20 years later,
Many people will recognize her from her work on the Food Network. She's been a judge on Chopped forever, and she does a lot of different shows with them.
it's a career that's seen her grind her way to the top. She started at a family restaurant in New Jersey, later joining top restaurants in Chicago and New York, before building her own Food Network in Nashville, where she's had to figure out
How do you bring global flavors to a very mainstream American market? What does that look like? Why do you do it? What are the challenges?
It's a question we'll explore today on this episode of Menu Master Spotlight. I'm Diana Blash, joined by food writer Stacey Bayless. Let's put Maneet under the lights.
I did my undergrad in hotel management in India, and then I came here to go to the CIA, which was really incredible because I thought that you walk around with a chip on your shoulder, like, oh, I went to the best culinary institute in the world. Oh, I came from the best hotel administration school in India. And then there is a dose of reality because I had the toughest time getting anybody to sponsor my paperwork, even though I graduated on top of my class.
Stacey, I love that soundbite right there because it really underscores the fact that if you want success, you gotta work for it. And Maneet really shows us that she did that.
I think certainly the way that she came up as a woman of color, she had battles all the way along. And she's talked about the fact that in her first kitchen, she was the only woman and she had 17 men that were there. I think that is a real testament to her faith in herself and her confidence. And also the fact that she's had a really good support system. You know, her family supports her. She and her husband are business partners, and that is an extraordinary partnership.
Maneet and her husband operate 4 restaurants in Nashville, and they opened them within the first 4 years of being there. And this was at a time when Nashville was still diversifying its food scene, which Maneet and her husband played a big role in developing. For example, they opened the city's first upscale Chinese restaurant. But they had to get creative on how to market their menus to customers.
We had this struggle of not knowing I'm like, does the audience know anything beyond meat and 3, right? Is it going to be chicken tikka marsala, right? Which still happens. I mean, no questions about it. And I literally tell my team members, I said, next time somebody says that, give them a grilled piece of chicken, put marsala sauce and a tiki umbrella and send it out. But that being said, thank God I'm surrounded by smarter people than me.
She really, really focused on how she could put together menus with her team that were balanced with things that would feel familiar. She talked about the whole idea of calling something nachos, which is essentially a chop.
So you look at everything Maneet has built today, the restaurants, the cookbooks, the TV shows, all of this success at a time when the restaurant industry is still as a whole reeling from the pandemic.
I really think a lot of her success, certainly through the pandemic, was because she pivoted really fast because she's so media savvy to doing these great online videos and cooking demos.
So let's start off with making.
When you do that, you build that sense of a relationship with someone. And so when it is time to think about where you're going to pick up your next takeout meal, or when things open back up, where you're going to make that first reservation, you are going to think of her because she was a resource for you during a tough time. I mean, the explosion of acceptance of global flavors, global ingredients, global techniques has everything to do with current media. There is so much on social media, there is so much on television around food that it's introducing foods to a broad market in a way that's never happened before.
Well, Stacey, thanks so much for your time today. It's always fun to learn about those we admire in this industry and learn the stories, the achievements, the successes that have shaped them into who they are today. I can't wait till our next interview, so be sure to follow along at home with Menu Master Spotlight.